welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and Elon Musk is back in the news cycle again. I mean, as if he's ever really left the news cycle. But a lot of the news has, at least in my opinion, been either inaccurate reportings or just half-truths to kind of twist a narrative, make you think a certain way. Other reporting's been fairly accurate. And then we have a plethora of opinions on either side about what they think of Elon, how he's handling Twitter. You know, it goes in all sorts of directions. But I want to take a look at this article from CNN, which states that Elon Musk offers journalists he banned from Twitter ability to return under certain conditions. Now, I want to start this off by saying there is this narrative going around that Elon Musk banned these journalists for, smearing him, talking bad about him, that he's acting like a man baby, whatever. That's not the case. It has been widely re-reported by far more accurate sources that certain individuals with certain political leanings don't want to acknowledge that rules were broken. Elon laid out very specific doxing rules, and the claim that the private jet information, the whole, what started this was him banning the individual that was tracking his private jet. That information wasn't public, as it turns out. The individual doing so had written code to track the jet and basically break through a bunch of security measures to do so, which, is real-time doxing. Elon has already stated that's against the rules, and these journalists seem to be calling out his free speech and how he's already going back on that. But real-time doxing is a safety and security issue, not just for Elon, but for any individual of prominence. Even non-prominence, really. I mean, I wouldn't want folks to know where I was at any given time, any given moment, if I had said or done something to piss somebody off, and then they could get the wrong person, who's got kind of a screw loose to do something dangerous. So, free speech does, in fact, believe it or not, have very few, but some limitations, including real-time life-threatening speech. So let's go through here, see what they have to say, and maybe they'll cover it in an unbiased fashion. It's CNN, I doubt it, but let's see. Elon Musk offers journalists he banned from Twitter ability to return under certain condition. New Twitter owner Elon Musk offered several of the journalists he banned from social media website earlier this week the ability to return to the platform if they deleted the tweets he falsely claimed shared his exact real-time location. Alright, so already we have a case of inaccuracy and bias. It wasn't inaccurate. It in fact was accurate, and it was against the rules. Or maybe it wasn't his location, but it was the location of his private jet, which his family could be on, even if he's not. So that's still the attempt to dox his real-time location. Again, this has been reported several times. Tim Pool did an excellent segment on it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get an unbiased opinion on this one, guys, but let's keep going. The move from Musk came after he posted an unscientific poll. Oh my goodness, why can't the news just report the news? Why do they have to try and tell us what to think, calling it unscientific? If you're just reading through this and not picking up on these things, you might just, blow through it and not really care. But these are clearly tools trying to get us to not form an opinion, but accept and agree with their opinion. They aren't saying, here's this information, do with it what you will. They're saying, here's the bias information that we are going to report as if it is fact, agree with us. And I don't like reporting like that, from either side, left or right. Unscientific poll on his personal Twitter account that concluded Friday night with 59% of participants voting in favor of immediately restoring the accounts. Now, mind you, I am part of that 59%. I participated in this poll, and I said to bring the accounts back. I definitely get that there is safety concerns, there are doxing issues. I don't think an outright ban was the best way to go about it. And Elon is obviously considering the same thing since he put this poll up. Barry Weiss, had things to say about it, and Elon Musk honestly asked her, what's your solution? Because, yes, while banning them does technically solve the problem of his safety, it doesn't solve the problem of how to handle issues like this altogether. So, a lot of people propose things such as issue a warning and then a 7-day, suspension of their account. That's just one example. There were others, but I think that one's the one that kind of has the most credence to it. But let's keep going. Musk had, on Thursday, banned CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, the New York Times' Ryan Mack, and the Washington Post's Drew Harwell, independent progressive journalist Aaron Rupar, former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann, and insider columnist Lynette Lopez were also banned. The people have spoken, Musk wrote Friday night on his poll, pledging to restore the accounts he had falsely accused of sharing his exact time and location. See, there it is again. You could have just let this sentence say, the people have spoken, Musk wrote Friday night after his poll, pledging to restore the accounts, just pledging to restore the accounts. Or pledging to restore the accounts he had banned. Like, you don't need to add your little twist on the narrative that isn't actually factual. That is... whatever happened to journalistic integrity? Like, in my opinion, I'm being pretty fair and biased. I think so far there's clearly a bias to this, and it is wrong. I also am not pro Elon banning these people just to ban them. I think there was a better option. So, where is journalistic integrity in, big name journalism? People that actually get paid. Oh, there's the answer. They get paid to do this. Of course they're going to write whatever suits their narrative as long as they're getting the big paycheck. But while the accounts were made publicly viewable on Saturday, the journalists were restricted from posting until they removed the tweets Musk had claimed violated Twitter's rules. So, they did violate Twitter's rules. It's not that Musk claimed they did. I mean, he did claim they did, because they did. There was a rule violation. This has happened to me, both under Musk's Twitter and prior to Musk's Twitter. I posted things that were against the rules. I appealed it. The appeal failed. They made me delete the comment and still had me suspended for 24 hours one time. I think it was 5 or 7 days the second time. Whatever the point of time, that doesn't really matter. Point is, they did violate the rules. If you're going to be on this platform, you need to follow its rules. It's that simple. I get that now with Elon, more free speech is allowed, and that is good, but there is still rules. It's still a private company. Free speech is from the government, not from a private company. So let's continue. I just thought that was worth noting. But then again, anyone watching this, I hope is intelligent enough to already know that. In the past, Twitter had required the removal of violative tweets for users to regain access to their accounts. But the journalists in this case strongly dispute that their posts violated Twitter rules. Well, I mean, they did. O'Sullivan and Harwell both told CNN on Saturday morning that they had not agreed to delete the tweets and instead selected an option to appeal the decision. It's journalism, Harwell wrote in his appeal, a copy of which was provided to CNN. Harwell added that his tweet did not include a link to anyone's private information. Rupar told CNN that he ultimately decided to simply remove the tweet and move on from the episode, though he described the whole affair as kinda absurd, obviously. The accounts of Olbermann and Lopez notably remained banned and had not even been made publicly available by late Saturday morning. Musk had falsely claimed on Thursday that the journalist had violated Twitter's new doxing policy by sharing his exact real-time location amount to what he described as assassination coordinates. Well, look. When you are the richest man in the world, or I guess now the second richest man in the world, own Twitter and have been shaking things up in the name of free speech, yeah, sorry, that puts a target on your back. There's a reason he went on Twitter Spaces publicly and said he's not suicidal, basically claiming he's no Jeffrey Epstein, don't Epstein him. Like, he knows the risk, and the fact that we're letting Elon Musk take all this risk and very few of us are standing up and doing what we think we should do to further the fight for free speech, it shows that the blame is partly on us. We can't just have real-life Tony Stark come in and solve all of our problems. The suspension of journalists had been met with swift condemnation by news organizations, the American Civil Liberties Union, United Nations, Democratic members of Congress, and others. The move marked a significant attempt by Musk, a self-described free speech absolutist, to wield his unilateral authority over the platform to censor the press. He's not trying to censor the press. I mean, he censored individuals. If he was trying to censor the press, he would have banned CNN as a whole. He would have banned the New York Post as a whole. He was censoring individuals who used their individual freedoms on Twitter to violate the rules. Regardless of what this article says, that is what happened. A CNN spokesperson previously said on Thursday that the network had asked Twitter for an explanation over O'Sullivan's suspensions and it would reevaluate our relationship based on that response. Oh no, CNN's going to leave Twitter. Whatever will they do? Good luck getting views and clicks on Mastodon. Shortly before his suspension, O'Sullivan tweeted that Twitter had suspended the account of an emergency competitive social media service, Mastodon, yep, there it is, which has allowed the continued posting of at ElonJet, an account that posts the updated location of Musk's private jet. So, yeah, that they are... I don't know the specifics of this rule, I'll be honest. But if Mastodon is allowing possible doxing violations, and that information can then just be screen capped and put on Twitter. Yeah, that's an indirect form of doxing. So maybe that violates Twitter's rules. That I'm honestly not sure of. But if that was the case, I wouldn't be surprised. It's basically just a loophole, and the whole idea of running a business efficiently is to annihilate loopholes and get things as tight and cog in the wheel as possible. So, to me, this makes sense, but I'm just spitballing. Other reporters suspended Thursday had also recently written about the plane tracking account, which Twitter permanently suspended the day before as it rolled out a new policy prohibiting the sharing of live location data. Good. That's something that should be prohibited. I mean, people made the argument, oh, your address is public. It's in the phone book. Your address being public and your location being public aren't the same. If I wasn't home right now, maybe I was out at the grocery store, and someone decided to look up my address in the phone book and then come to my house to gun me down, but I was at the grocery store. It didn't happen. My live location wasn't shared. The location of my residence was publicly available. Even then, there's arguments to be made about the safety of that in the world we live in, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, my live location is not in the phone book. My place of residence is. Sharing someone's live location in real time, that is a whole different ballgame and can't be compared to an address in a phone book. The move to ban the jet tracking account marked a sharp reversal of Musk's vow to leave the account online as part of his commitment to free speech. Well, yeah, Musk did walk that one back. I will agree. Musk walked it back. However, I think his reasoning for walking it back is absolutely understandable. His child was attacked. His child was in a car that Elon wasn't in, but because the live location sharing claimed that's where Elon was, some absolute madman attacked the car that Elon wasn't in, but his child was. In fact, if I remember right, that man was actually taken into custody, and there's photos of the suspect. Again, this is suspect. The man has not been convicted of the crime yet. But, yeah, so I get walking that back. He wasn't walking it back to shaft at Elon yet. He was walking it back because new security threats have arisen. When new information comes to you and new situations arise, you reevaluate. If I was in my house and my house was not on fire, I would evaluate, this is a safe place. I'm going to stay here. If I light a candle, now there is technically a fire in my house. But it's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just stay in my house. If that candle then sets the rest of my house ablaze due to mishaps, I'm going to reevaluate the situation, realize I'm in danger, and get out of my house. That's effectively what happened. Elon asked the guy to take it down. He didn't. Elon said, I'll leave it up. Then new safety threats occurred. And he's like, okay, no, now it's got to go down. The situation has changed. What is wrong with that? Okay, looks like that's the end of the article. So basically what it boils down to is CNN and reporters who frequently try to censor the speech of others are now upset that their speech is being censored. Do I agree with the censorship? No. I do understand the danger, and I wonder if there's some sort of middle ground. I won't lie. I'm not smart enough to have the answer to that. I don't know what the middle ground is. I wish I did. I'd love to put forth ideas. But even if I don't have an idea to put forth, I can acknowledge seeing both sides. I am very anti-censorship, except in the most stringent of instances, and I am very anti people getting put in positions of danger just for their beliefs, their speech, anything. And that's what's happening to Elon here. So what that middle ground is, I don't know. How this should be handled, I don't know, but I don't think it should have been an outright ban of the journalists. I do agree that bringing them back, having them delete their tweet was acceptable. I actually thought this was going to be another Elon troll where he says something like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and bring your account back as long as you accept the condition of having your real-time location tracked at all times. And then, of course, then being like, what? No, that's a danger to us. Like I expected some sort of megalomaniac move like that, so the fact that we didn't get that is a little underwhelming. But, yeah, this is actually a serious issue in spite of me making light of it, and I can see why this is one of the few things Elon's not trolling on. So, that's all I've got for this. Please like, comment, subscribe. I am really trying to grow this channel, so your support would mean the world to me. Obviously, we cover everything from Elon Musk to video games, Hollywood, anything interesting and somewhat political in the nerdosphere. Sometimes not even political. I dropped a review for Sonic Prime. I occasionally react to anime rap videos. So if you're interested in any of that, please subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter at BoltTheWord. And this has been Words of Paradise.